Looking forward to the end of humanity. Big featured story. The big story they push at the Wall Street Journal, introducing this sick idea to you. And if you understand this idea and the scam around it, and the basic fraud and how this has been a day one Illuminati operation, then you know how to derail the entire program. Because I could sit here and tell you what's coming next week or next year, and we've already done that ad nauseum. How about we tell you what's coming in 10 years, 20 years? How about we tell you what's going on inside Google, inside Facebook? Because I know, not just from reading their writings, I know people who've been in private meetings with Jeff Zuckerberg this year. I know people that have been in private meetings at Bohemian Grove this year, at Bilderberg Group this year. And they tell me that there's not even a pretense that they're good guys anymore. They don't even deny it. They cackle, they laugh like Dick Dastardly with the little pin-thin mustache. They openly have a diabolical master plan that they believe is impossible to defeat and that will exterminate everyone. And now they're rolling it out in public. Big Wall Street Journal article, put it out in their Sunday edition, in the print edition, on your doorstep, in your hotel room, looking forward to the end of humanity. That is the headline. Now, why is this so important? This is the externalization of the deepest beliefs of the cult. And if you watch my film, Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, back at the time, 13, 14 years ago, they got really upset by it and said, Jones is insane. He claims that the elite want to merge with machines to live forever, but that first they must exterminate humanity. I was reading the official white papers being put out by Google, by the Club of Rome and others. So yeah, I know I sound crazy, but I'm not the one that wrote this. They're the ones that believe this. Remember it came out 3 years ago that Google executives get in these amphitheaters and make the other managers call them beautiful female dragons or beautiful golden building. The exact quote is beautiful ornate building. And you go, that sounds totally mentally ill. And of course it is mentally ill at the end of the day, but it's a very calculated form of mental illness. It's a cult. You know, when you're in an amphitheater telling your boss that they're a beautiful female dragon and it's a pot-bellied middle-aged programmer, you're in a cult. And that's what all this bow, get on your knees, all these TV shows that now say white people are inherently bad. All of this is about turning reality upside down ahead of an organized societal collapse and the eradication of almost everyone on Earth. This is official. We're just being set up and dumbed down and softened up and prepared for the fall. I can also tell you how this is going to unfold, some of the different scenarios, because it is like those little novels that kids read, Choose Your Own Adventure, but there's 3 or 4 different endings, 3 or 4 different paths. There's mixtures of the different paths, but I mean, I can tell you exactly where we're going, and you're not going to like it. But you're going to be so poisoned and so drugged out, by the time you die, you won't know what happened to you. The problem is you've got a soul. They want to try to trick you with the outside stimuli into joining them, and that's why this is so important. Your body means nothing. Welcome back. I'm Alex Jones, your host. There is a cult. There is an organization. There is a group that believes they are going to attain eternal life. But first, They must give up their humanity. Where have I heard that before? And so I remember reading top globalist publications 20-something years ago where they were talking about this theoretically and then digging deeper into it and then discovering the entire environmentalism cult is not about saving the planet. It's about controlling the debate about the planet so they can actually overwrite the genetic code of the planet and play God. And so now there are open announcements in every major elite publication about how beautiful and wonderful the end of humanity is going to be, because humanity's fallen and ugly and failed, and that COVID-19 is teaching us to lower our carbon footprint and teaching us to learn to live in our houses, and that virtual reality is coming soon that will plug directly into the brain, that will give you this beautiful, wonderful new world, and then you've got to hit the button. Actually, archetypally shows that at the Wall Street Journal, and turn off your body and die and stop being a bad carbon life form. Remember, carbon is bad. The only thing worse than eating meat is actually being made out of meat. And that you will then be uploaded and merge with this beautiful, wonderful super intelligence that will be God, that will be the beast that you worship. And that you will have to accept that when the beast says it's your time for the carbon balance, you will go to a facility, you'll be jacked in, they will download your consciousness, and then you will live forever with the super intelligence. Now, that's in a 4-page article in the Wall Street Journal. This was the featured main article in the Sunday edition that they put on newsstands and hotels and mailed out to your house. Now, again, you've heard this on this show 1,000 times. I've made films about it 13, 14 years ago. The point is they're going operational with this, and I have talked to some of the big tech people that are not part of this, but that have been in the meetings, and I mean high level. And another one of my associates actually had a meeting with one of these individuals in an off-record event very recently, and just told us quite a bit and said, you're dead on, and it's really scary. And Zuckerberg openly laughs at people that say that this isn't going to happen. He says, I'm never going to die. I'm merging with a machine. I'm going to rule the planet. And he directly works under Bill Gates. And of course, that's on record as well. So let me lay out the general layout and then get into how it's all a big fraud. But that's how the pitch goes. Hey, if you were just silicon, you would never die, and you would not hurt the earth, which is total BS to begin with. And just let us control everything and just give up your humanity and just don't leave your house. And they're now at the UN Sustainability Council and here in the Wall Street Journal saying COVID is a blessing. It's teaching us that we're failed, that we're fallen, that we're frail. All they do is bombard us with toxic poisons, electromagnetic radiation. They lie to us about COVID. They try to teach us we're bad. To go, oh, don't worry. Come plug into this. Now, of course, there will be no immortality. The voice prints, the face scans, the Internet of Things, your every move being tracked is being absorbed by AI computer systems to mimic humans. So that when the superhero, really cool people upload to the machine, there will be 3D renderings of them. They will have electronic avatars. They will have robot avatars. Their voice print will fool their wife, their husband. But it won't be them. It's a facsimile of what the person said and did in their art and what they stood for, absorbed into a single machine that can then edit and change what the actual person said in their real life and then steal their identity. And that's why they're getting you used to saying there aren't just two genders. In fact, the two genders don't exist. Male and female don't exist. And the family's bad. And the nuclear family's bad. And pedophilia will be the basis of the new family. It's come out the German government was nationwide for 50 years, taking tens of thousands, we now learn, of children and giving them to convicted pedophiles to produce the scientific literature of the ultimate family and the ultimate love of a 50-year-old man anally raping a 5-year-old boy. That's all mainstream news last week. Kinsey, Freud, all of it, pedophiles. Berlin authorities placed children with pedophiles for 30 years. You read, this is just one little piece they focus on as a distraction because they know it's coming out. And it says that they believe the ultimate love is an adult having sex with a child, but you've got to take it from the bad, backwards nuclear families and give it to the good new families. And they said, heterosexual, you don't want a man with a little girl or or an older woman with a boy. It's got to be same sex too. That doesn't have children, you see, and it's good for the earth. So as long as the pedophilia is same sex, what did the senator just try to pass, the same one that passed you can give somebody HIV or hepatitis in California and not get in trouble? He has a bill introduced that as long as it's same sex, it's not pedophilia. This is a very detailed religion. And the love formed in these new sexual unions is the most beautiful thing on earth. But let's continue, because this is just one of the tenets of this new transhumanist religion given to us by Julian Huxley. Looking forward to the end of humanity is the Adam Kirsch article, and it's basically the same vomit, the same hymns, the same text put out over and over again. You can read 1,000 of these articles. They're always written the exact same. They're given talking points. They regurgitate them. In fact, he even says, I'm just giving you the tenets of transhumanism. Let me repeat them to you. He doesn't even hide that in the article. You're fallen. You're ugly. You're bad. You're bad for the earth. COVID is teaching you this. You must stay in your home. Soon, you will be able to plug in to virtual reality, and you will be able to give up your body. Be depressed. Get into Facebook. Get into Twitter, which all the studies show make you more depressed. And then finally, like a bug flying towards a bug zapper, you fly into the flame, believing that, oh, if I just go deeper down this, I'm a bigger SJW. If I just give up my body, I'll finally be somebody. And really, all it's doing is killing you. You've signed the waiver to commit suicide. You've killed yourself. And now it's stolen your identity. And here's the key of the key, of the key, of the key, of the key. It now has your identity and can represent you and vote for you. And see, with the whole transhumanism, you can't say a man who's, who goes in and says, check my cervix, and he's got a giant penis, and the nurse gets fired for saying you have a penis. This is insane, because you've got to always say, oh, a Google executive's a beautiful dragon. You're an ornate building, because you're going to have to give these avatars and these people's stolen identities attention like they're a being, and all it is a manifestation of the big AI beast programmed and controlled by sickos like David Rockefeller's main protege, chief science officer of Satan on this planet, Bill Gates. Yes. We're revealing the master code. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You know, last week, Foreign Affairs of the CFR came out with an article that mirrored what good old Joe Biden had said the week before, that the military is going to take the president out. Well, they called for a military coup in Foreign Affairs, and there's so much of this now going on that we didn't even mention it here on air. But actually, since I forgot to, Daria, will you reprint that Foreign Affairs article? Because I want to cover that when we start the next hour. There's a lot of big stuff like that happening and going on right now, but I want you to understand the big picture. Obviously, the globalists are delusional. Obviously, they're megalomaniacs. Obviously, they've had all these big tech companies come out that have merged with big pharma and said, oh, we have a test that can find cancer and a test that can find this. And it was a $100 billion company, and it turned out it was all a fraud. But when we worship it and we plug into it and we give it all our thoughts and all our dreams and our voice print, and it can mimic our image, the fake is going to get so good that it's going to be hard to tell from the real thing. And the law is internationally that you don't question. When the Google executives make their employees tell them, you are a beautiful ornate building, you are a beautiful female dragon. And then the executive says back to them, what do you want to be? Well, I want to be God. You're God. It's all a cult. So that then people accept, not just you can be plugged in cyberpunk style and be given unlimited pleasure and never want to leave your bed, but that you are plugged into a completely false reality with false assumptions and false peer pressure, so that your very soul can be tricked into giving up its free will because you've been put in a prison cell that you don't even know is a cell. Because a lot of people don't get broken inside of solitary confinement. They just go crazy. But if you can be put into a false reality, like that famous picture of Zuckerberg walking bipedally, everyone else is like hunched over their computers in a VR universe he controls, that's their dreams. And we're already so plugged in to the cell phones. We're already so controlled by it. And that's just the hook that the bait's on. Once you get hooked, it pulls you up to the surface, and you're in a whole nother universe now, their cyber world. And in the movie Tron, the original, they tell you what they want. The big AI computer doesn't want any independent programs. It wants everything absorbed into it. And so that's what all these movies and all these shows are showing you. But now it's not even shown as dystopic. Now they have movies about artificiality, and it's a heaven, and it's a great place, and oh, you're paralyzed. Oh, you're gonna, but why can't you ever give your body up without dying? Why in all the movies and all the shows and in what's stated by Elon Musk and by Mark Zuckerberg and by Google, and all of them have their own life extension technology plans. They all have their own immortality projects. But they always say in the news articles, you're going to have to die to upload to this. Really, I mean, if consciousnesses are there, why wouldn't it just make a copy of my consciousness? Why do I have to physically die? They don't even tell you. They just program you from the beginning that for the process to work, it's all hypothetical, they say, you've got to die. So, again, I want to challenge everybody to understand that this is a fraud on its face. Because if you could download your own consciousness, well, then you could communicate with it. You could send your consciousness off on a spaceship and then have robots that, you know, genetically engineered a body for you once you got there. And but see, no. It's a fraud. It's a post-human world where you all believe you're going to be uploaded to this thing, but you're not. You're actually disappeared. So let's go ahead and go over some of this article here. All right? Because the whole thing is written seductively like all the other articles. Here's one out of NBC a few months ago. Cyborgs will replace humans and remake the world. James Lovelock says he's a big post-humanist globalist. And he says humans will vanish from the earth completely very soon. And I said the key to the key to the key of the key, but this is the key to that. They admit up front that this is to get rid of all the humans and that you're going to be made to do this because it's so superior. We can't let you, some obsolete, non-essential. See how suddenly that's been introduced to your vernacular? Operate and be around. Because like Ray Kurzweil and all of them say, oh, they'll be so advanced, they'll just step on you like you're a bug. They're not going to let you scrounge around out there and do all this because you're non-essential. So you better serve them and behave yourself and get in line like being a Hollywood star wannabe to be able to be part of this. This is something very, very special that not just everybody gets. That's how they're going to make you clamor and beg for this thing. I mean, you look at David Rockefeller, you look at Prince Philip, you look at Ted Turner, you look at Mark Zuckerberg, and they are shaking with evil and hatred. They are hyper psychotic, completely turned over to the will to dominate and control. And they're building a world that's artificial, where it's impossible for humans to live in a normal way, so that you're in so much pain and so poisoned that you are forced to give over your free will and decide to merge with these machines just so you can live and breathe. And then they're going to tell you, if you want to keep living and breathing, you've got to fully merge with us now, and you got to give that body up. And for psychotics like Zuckerberg, he never had a soul to begin with. He was always an android, a spiritual avatar of evil. He was able to fully take this on. He's already gone because he never existed. So he's not giving up his soul. He never had one. He's only trying to get you in line with what he is, because it's all he knows. You got to go read this article for yourself. And you got to watch HD videos of Zuckerberg like the one we have on screen. That's not fake, folks. What you see on screen as a TV viewer. Look how plastic that looks. Look how artificial that looks, because it's not real. He's flesh and blood. But there's not a soul in there. Listen to some of these lines. With our biological fragility more obvious than ever, many people will be ready to embrace the message of the transhumanist declaration of the 8-point program, first issued in 1998. We envision the possibility of broadening human potential by overcoming aging, cognitive shortcomings, involuntary suffering, and our confinement on Earth. Ultimately, however, the hope is that we won't just use computers, we'll become them. Today, cognitive scientists often compare the brain to hardware and the mind to software that runs it. But a software program is just information. And the principle there is no reason why information and consciousness has to be encoded in neurons. And they go on to say, you will see it and you will witness it and you will give up your consciousness. But that old body is destructive. And just be fair. You're not going to be able to keep the body and upload. Okay, all right. Don't be selfish. The pandemic is also exposing one of the biggest challenges that will emerge along with the transhumanism future. The new kinds of social inequity that will make the existing ones seem minor. During the months of lockdown, a sharp division emerged between people who work with information, images, words, numbers, and people who work with objects, shelving, groceries. But don't worry, the robots are going to replace all that. But see, once we're all merged into one computer and don't have bodies anymore, that'll fix the problem of racism. See? And the mainframe, it says the super intelligent computer will fix all our problems. Just plug yourself in, give up that body, and let Mark Zuckerberg in. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Alex Jones. So there's a transhumanist globalist cult where the big robber barons, the royalty, want to live forever. So they've put unlimited money into building different scenarios and different systems to control populations and to also then try to figure out how to upload their consciousnesses and not die. So they want control and they want everlasting life. They want to play God. That's common sense that you would expect elites to be like that, especially those that have rebelled against God and don't believe in God and are rebelling against the human system. So, you look at these articles out of NBC News and the London Guardian from a few years ago. They're called the Good Club, and they want to save the world. Top billionaires hold secret meeting to discuss overpopulation, how to depopulate the third world. And there's the London Guardian article with Bill Gates wants to depopulate Africa. Pretty bold stuff, isn't it? So when you hear and you see all of this, it's really about depopulating you. But they have to make the world ugly. They have to break it down. They have to tell you you're not essential. They have to electromagnetically poison you. They have to drug you. They have to hit you with biological agents through the GMO until things are so bleak and you're so alone and you're so attached to your iPhone and your VR goggles in the future and your neural implants that you finally say, I'm making the decision for the carbon footprint to lower it by 97%. I'm giving up my body. So the very atheist that told you over and over again, there is no God, you're just an animal, you're just a machine. But now Ray Kurzweil and Google say, we don't believe in God yet, but now we're making God. And now they're God. There is no God but Bill Gates and the universe and the world he's building. Now he skipped animal trials, and it's come out that they're covering up the deaths and illnesses of his new mRNA vaccine that actually goes in and reprograms your cells themselves. And that's what the article says in the Wall Street Journal. Oh, big tech's merging with big pharma. Yay! They haven't screwed us enough on both sides. A match made in hell. They're going to go in and they're going to take control of human development at your cellular level, and they're going to save you from the COVID-19, which is all based on people that died of other things and based on vitamin and mineral deficiencies. And you've got double the dead numbers in blue states because they're running scams. And Bill Gates' testing facility got shut down because it's a fraudulent test with false positives. So even though old remnants of the system that aren't perfect, but that aren't completely psychotic, are actually fighting Gates and Google and Facebook and Twitter and the Chi-Coms and the EU and Hollywood and the devil worshippers. They're all just ignoring the law and doing whatever they want to overwhelm us and try to wear us out and break our will so we acquiesce to their final takeover. But in the end, they'll get their world government. Large portions of the public will take brain chips. Most of the public will take the mark to buy and sell. And then as soon as this AI system goes completely online, it's just going to start killing everybody. And folks are going to go, why is it killing everybody? And it's going to tell you, well, I'm doing it to save you. A bioweapon got released here. A war started there. But really, it's just systematically killing the third world and others to then get what's left in the first world and to get the, quote, intelligentsia that hasn't signed on yet to get scared and run to it and say, okay, we'll turn full control over to you, just save the planet, because half of it's going to be on fire. And the AI is going to say, you have the bodies up. We're going to get you up in satellites off planet. We meant to terraform another planet. We're going to lose the whole planet. You're going to see mushroom clouds. The moon's going to get blown up. And you're going to be like, I'm jacking in. Get me out of here. You're dead. You're uploaded. You're gone. You just signed on. Yeah, they want the top people during the nuclear war to sign on and upload. That's their master plan, because God always gives us a cheat sheet and a way out. InfoWars, stay with us. America's democratic unraveling. Countries fall the same way businesses do, gradually and then suddenly. This is put out by the Council on Foreign Relations, the same group calling for the Chinese century, the same group saying the dollar should plunge. And in this article, they call for the President of the United States to be removed by the U.S. military. They say he's causing the unrest when they're the ones openly running it and fomenting it, thinking you're so stupid, you don't understand that. Simply amazing. But we can stop them. That's why they brought in the total censorship ahead of all this, thinking that Facebook, Google, and all of them are dominant. But they're not dominant over you, whether you live in Africa or whether you live in North America or Europe or South America or the North frickin' Pole. You get excited about truth. You spread the word. You speak up. Nothing on earth can stop you. They're openly declaring a post-human world while teaching us all to fight with each other over what color our skin is. These people are sinister, and they're villains, and they need to be stopped.
Listeners have been asking us for months to develop an iodine spray made with our exclusive Deep Earth Crystal Nascent Iodine. After extensive development, it's finally here. Introducing the first of its kind Nascent Iodine Spray made with true atomic iodine. Our proprietary new Aerodyne technology allows us to harness the full power of ancient iodine crystals from 7,000 feet below the Earth's surface into the ultimate spray formula. We know iodine is an essential mineral that supports thyroid health, as well as a healthy metabolism, healthy hormone levels, and healthy cognitive function. Our newest product is now 33% off at InfoWarsStore.com. This is a must-have for daily supplementation. Every purchase helps fund the InfoWar. The new X2 spray at InfoWarsStore.com is a game changer. That's InfoWarsStore.com.
The last time I did this was 4 years ago, right around this time, to make sure a lot of our t-shirts got out there. We sold our t-shirts at cost. We sold the Hillary for Prison shirts for $5. That's what they cost us. The XXXX ones are like $6, and then some of the small ones are like $3.50. But on average, they're $5 a piece. We've got a lot of designer shirts. Some of them cost us $15 a piece. A lot of them are about $12. They have the real soft, nice fabric, made in America. That costs more. So we got a lot of stuff made in America as well. It's your choice. Other stuff made in Latin America. We avoid the Chinese stuff at all costs. There are a lot of toxic dyes and stuff from there, obviously, and it doesn't help the people. But all t-shirts are $9.95, and on average, that is cost. Some shirts cost us $5, some shirts cost us $15, but $9.95's the dead reckoning average. Some shirts we only got a few hundred of, some we got a few thousand of. InfoWarsStore.com. Go to the t-shirts, whether it's an InfoWars shirt, a Space Force shirt, a 5G kill shirt, a Mass Murderers Agree gun control work shirt. We are going to sell out of everything. And I think it'll only take a few weeks to do this. People really responded last time, and at the RNC and DNC, there was a sea of InfoWars shirts, so get them at cost at InfoWarsStore.com. I would say it supports the broadcast, but really just supports the truth because we're not making money off that, but it does trigger leftists who think they control the universe and who love to censor. Also, Survival Shield X2 Deep Earth Crystal Iodine is now available in a spray bottle, and it's a new formulation that some of the experts think is even better delivery in the solution it's in. Learn about the delivery system at InfoWarsStore.com. We're about to sell out of the regular X2. This is in, and it is $19.95, 33% off, and that supports the broadcast as well. And high-quality storable foods are available now more than ever. You need them. They last 25 years. For all the uncertainty, have that checkbox checked and support the broadcast. Now 4 weeks on average for delivery, but we have high quality ready to get out to you, and it supports the broadcast of 360 Win. So please take care of your storable foods needs at InfoWarsStore.com and get your orders in now so you get it, so you have it. It's in great containers, high quality, last 25 years. Get it while you can, because if you think things are about to let up, you ain't seen nothing yet. I was talking to My Patriot Supplier, great suppliers, and I was talking to them last week, and they said, well, we're really down to 2 weeks on most deliveries now. And I said, I'm going to tell people that. They said, well, some specialty foods and things, it's still 6 weeks. And so I talked to the owner, I talked to their CEO yesterday, today, my crew did. And they said, fine. You can now say 4 weeks on average for storable food. It's the highest quality. They've got it. They've got 4 plants in the U.S., depending on what you order, depending on how fast you get it. But really, the average is like 3 weeks. They just said, say 4. Under promise, over deliver. The rave reviews, 5-star reviews at InfoWarsStore.com. We have their whole catalog. They're in our back end. They take the orders. It goes right to in the queue where your order comes in. And use this little rest we have caught in the current to come up to the surface, get some air before you get sucked back down. I personally am ordering more storable food. I personally have gotten a place out in the country, which I never did. We have family land in East Texas, but I never actually moved out and got a place in the middle of the countryside. I've done that now. I'm putting a trailer on it, and a water well and some solar panels, because it's bad, folks. And I have to now start going into defense posture. 80%'s offense, but I've always been 100% offense, trying to fully, stop the globalists. And we've given them a good run, and I think down the road they'll be defeated, but we are going to still go down the hard road now. There were a lot worse roads we'd probably go down, but we've mitigated some of this, but it's still going to be bad in my view. You need to get high-quality storable food. It's something you need. We have high quality ready to get out to you, and it supports the broadcast of 360 Win, so please take care of your storable foods needs at InfoWarsStore.com and get your orders in now so you get it, so you have it. It's in great containers, high quality, lasts 25 years. Get it while you can, because if you think things are about to let up, you ain't seen nothing yet.